I wish there is something I can do to make my father smile, Princess Olari thought to herself as she looked at the peaceful garden in the palace. Once upon a time, in a beautiful kingdom named Nzar, lived Princess Olari, the only child of King Obiora. Olari was King Obiora's greatest pride and joy. She was very beautiful. Even though she was a vision of beauty, she possessed the extraordinary power to heal any ailment, a gift known only to those within the palace walls. One evening, as the palace was beginning to get less traffic, with visitors and palace workers going about their duties, Olari sat with her father in the palace garden. She noticed that her father was in deep thoughts. The air was heavy with unspoken words. The king, usually so composed, seemed troubled. "Father, what weighs so heavily on your heart?" Olari asked, her voice soft yet firm. King Obiora sighed deeply, his eyes betraying the turmoil within. "Olari, the council of chiefs grows impatient. They press me to find you a husband to secure the future of our kingdom. They speak of tradition, of the need for an heir, but I fear that these men, the suitors they present, seek only power." Olari reached out and placed her hand on her father's and said, "I understand their concern, father, but I will not marry a man who does not love me for who I am. My powers are not a prize to be won." The king nodded, his eyes filled with a mixture of pride and sorrow. "I know, my daughter, but the chiefs have threatened to strip me of my kingship if I do not act soon. They do not know of your powers, but if they did, I fear they would use them as a weapon." "I will not be a pawn in their game," Olari replied, her voice strong. "I will choose my own path, and I will not let them control my fate." While the king and his daughter spoke, another conversation was taking place in the shadows of the palace. Obedike, the king's brother, paced back and forth in his chambers, his mind racing with schemes. He had long harbored resentment towards his brother. For years, he had his eyes set on taking his brother's place as the king and possessing Princess Olari's powers. He saw them as a key to unimaginable wealth and influence. Summoning his most trusted advisor, Eze, Obedike revealed his dark intentions. "Eze," Obedike said, "we must find a way to control Olari. Her powers could make us richer than kings, but she's too clever, too courteous. We need to outsmart her." Eze, being an opportunist, replied with a smirk, "My lord, there are ways to bend even the strongest wills. We could send suitors, men who will charm her, make her believe in their love. Once they get married, she'll be under our control." Obedike's eyes gleamed with malice. "Yes, yes, but she's no fool. She'll see through their lies. We need someone who can truly deceive her, someone she would never suspect." Eze leaned in closer, whispering, "What if we spread rumors of a distant prince, a man of honor and courage, who seeks a wife not for power but for love? We could fabricate tales of his nobility, his kindness. She would be intrigued, and when the time is right, we send our man to play the role." Obed grinned wickedly and said, "Do it, but make sure he is perfect. If we succeed, the throne of Nzar will be ours." Days turned into weeks, and soon tales of a noble prince from a far-off land began to circulate in the kingdom. His name was Prince Ikenna, a man of unmatched bravery and compassion. Or so the rumors said. The story reached the ears of Princess Olari, and though she was skeptical, there was something about the tales that aroused her interest. One afternoon, as she strolled through the palace gardens with her closest confidant, Nneka, Princess Olari couldn't help but bring up the subject. "Nneka, have you heard of this Prince Ikenna? They say he's a man of great humor, uninterested in power or wealth." Nneka, a woman of sharp wit, raised an eyebrow and said, "I've heard the stories, my princess, but do you truly believe them? Men of such virtue are rare, especially when they come seeking a princess with powers like yours." Princess Olari sighed. She wasn't sure how to feel about the whole situation. "You're right, Nneka, but what if for once the stories are true? What if there is a man out there who sees me not as a means to an end, but as a woman worthy of love?" Nneka placed a reassuring hand on Olari's shoulder. "If such a man exists, you will know. Your powers give you insight beyond the ordinary. Trust in yourself, princess. Do not be swayed by stories." As the days passed, Princess Olari continued to hear more about Prince Ikenna. The tales painted him as a man of unparalleled virtue, and eventually the king received a formal request from the so-called prince asking for Olari's hand in marriage. The palace buzzed with excitement, but Olari remained cautious. One evening, King Obiora summoned Princess Olari to his chambers. "My daughter," he began, "Prince Ikenna has sent a request for your hand. The council is overjoyed, but I need to know what you think." With her eyes steady and determined, Olari replied, "Father, I have listened to the stories, but I cannot base my decision on tales alone. I must meet this prince, look into his eyes, and see if his heart is true." King Obiora nodded in agreement. "Very well, we will arrange a meeting. But be careful, my daughter," the king warned her. "You are our kingdom's greatest treasure, and I will not see you harmed." When the day of the meeting arrived, the palace was filled with anticipation. Princess Olari, dressed in her finest red robes and adorned with her gold jewelries, stood tall and proud as she awaited the arrival of Prince Ikenna. When the prince finally arrived, he was everything the stories had described: tall, handsome, and exuding an air of nobility. "Princess Olari," he said, greeting her with a smile, "it is an honor to meet you. I have heard much of your beauty and wisdom, and I hope to earn your favor." Olari studied him carefully, her keen eyes searching for any hint of deceit. "Prince Ikenna," she replied, her voice calm but piercing, "I have heard many tales of your virtues, but I do not marry based on stories. Tell me, what is it that you seek in a wife?" Ikenna smiled, his eyes sincere. "I seek a partner, someone with whom I can share my life, my dreams, and my burdens. I do not seek power, for I am content with what I have. I seek love, princess, and I believe the love cannot be bought or forced. It must be earned." For a moment, Olari felt herself swayed by his words. He seemed so genuine, so different from the other suitors. But just as she was about to respond, Nneka entered the room, her face pale. She quickly approached Olari and whispered in her ear. "My princess," Nneka said urgently, "I have just received word that this man Ikenna is not who he claims to be. He is an impostor sent by Obedike to deceive you." Olari's eyes flashed with anger as she turned back to Ikenna. "Is this true? Are you here under false pretenses?" Ikenna's face drained of color as he realized his deception had been uncovered. "Princess, I can explain." But Olari would not hear it. "Guards!" she called, her voice echoing through the hall. "Take this man away. He is a liar and a fraud." As the guards seized the impostor, Olari felt a wave of emotions crash over her. Betrayal, anger, but most of all, resolve. She had been right to trust her instincts, and now she knew that she could not afford to be lenient. The threat to her kingdom was real, and it was closer than ever. Princess Olari came up with a plan which she discussed with her father, King Obiora, to stop her uncle Obedike from destroying her family and kingdom. She kicked off her plan by going to the cell to visit the impostor who called himself Prince Ikenna. Princess Olari told him that she will spare his life if he agrees to work with her to bring her uncle Obedike to justice. Ikenna promised to report Obedike's plan to Princess Olari. When Ikenna was released from the palace guard's custody, he went straight to Obedike and informed him that their plan to control the powers of Princess Olari was working out well, and he asked what their next move will be. Not wasting any time, Obedike revealed his next plan. "I want us to get rid of King Obiora completely. That way, no one will stand a chance of contesting the throne with me." Obedike approached the palace cook and bribed her to poison King Obiora during the dinner. He gave the cook a substance to put in the king's food that night. The next day, there was a lot of wailing and crying on the palace courtyard. Obedike was informed that the king passed on earlier that morning. Without any consideration, Obedike quickly moved to persuade the council of chiefs to make him king. They pleaded with him to be patient and to wait until the end of the king's funeral before discussing a replacement for the king. When Olari heard what Obedike was planning, she decided to confront her uncle Obedike. She found him in his chambers, pacing nervously. "Uncle," she said, her voice like steel, "you have betrayed our family and our kingdom. I will not let you continue your schemes." Obedike, cornered and desperate, sneered at her. "You think you can stop me? You may have powers, but you are still just a woman, a princess, not a queen. The council will never let you rule." Olari stepped closer, her eyes blazing with determination. "I do not seek the throne, uncle. I seek justice, and I will not allow you to harm this kingdom any longer." Before Obedike could respond, the door to his chambers burst open and King Obiora entered, flanked by guards. "Obedike!" The king's voice was cold. You have dishonored this family and conspired against your own blood. For your treachery, you will be banished from Nzar, never to return." Obedike's eyes widened in shock. "You cannot do this. I am your brother." "Brother or not," King Obiora replied sternly, "you have crossed a line. You are a danger to this kingdom, and I will not allow you to stay." The guards seized Obedike, and as he was dragged away, he screamed, "This isn't over. You will regret this." With Obedike gone, peace returned to the kingdom. Olari continued to heal her people in secret, using her powers for good, while also preparing for the day she would find a man who truly loved her for who she was. The king, having learned from the experience, decided to no longer keep Olari's powers a secret, but instead to celebrate them. The people of Nzar rejoiced, knowing they had a princess who not only possessed great beauty, but also a heart full of love and compassion. And so the kingdom of Nzar thrived under the watchful eyes of Princess Olari, who remained true to herself and her people, forever guarding the legacy of her family and the well-being of her land. The end.